At the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to a little boy named Dicki. And the very first thing you notice about him isn't his face or his smile, it's his shoes. Worn down, barely stitched together, held by nothing but stubbornness and hope. And honestly, that one detail tells you everything you need to know about this story. Because what you're about to watch isn't just a movie about a magical alien creature. It's about a father's love, so fierce, so desperate, so quietly devastating that by the time this film ends, you won't just be entertained, you'll be wrecked. So buckle in, this is CJ7. We are introduced to Dicki as a young boy living in the kind of poverty that most people only see in documentaries. He and his father share a crumbling, half-finished building that was never meant to be anyone's home. Broken walls, no proper furniture, and cockroaches that seem to outnumber the people. But despite all of this, Dicki's father, a hard-working construction laborer, has made one massive, almost impossible decision. His son will attend one of the finest private schools in the city. Now think about that for a second. A man who can barely afford food is sending his child to a school full of kids whose parents drive luxury cars and buy $1,000 toys. Why? Because he believes, with everything in him, that a better school means a better future. That Dicki won't have to break his back on a construction site the way he does. That the sacrifices will mean something. But here's where it gets painful. Dicki doesn't just struggle at home, he struggles at school too. And not because he isn't smart, he struggles because he sticks out. While every other kid walks in with clean uniforms, shiny shoes, and the latest gadgets, Dicki shows up looking like he got dressed in the dark. His uniform is wrinkled, his shoes are falling apart, and the other kids, they notice. Oh, they definitely notice. We are introduced to his homeroom teacher, Miss Yuen, who genuinely cares about Dicki. She sees a boy who is bright and kind and deserving of so much more than what life has handed him. She wants to visit his home, get to know his father, and help. But Dicki keeps making excuses because deep down he's embarrassed, not of his father, but of the life they're forced to live. One day in class, the teacher asks every student a simple question: what do you want to be when you grow up? The other kids say the usual things, rich, successful, famous, but when it's Dicki's turn, the room goes completely silent. He says with total sincerity, "I want to be poor." The class erupts in shock and laughter, but then Dicki explains himself. His father once told him that if a person is honest, hardworking, and studies hard, even if they have nothing, people will still respect them. It's a belief so pure, so uncomplicated, that it almost hurts to hear it come from a child. But the world isn't always fair to pure hearts. Later that same day during class, Dicki politely picks up a pen that his teacher dropped. And instead of a simple thank you, the teacher does something absolutely infuriating. He makes Dicki put the pen back on the floor and then picks it up himself using a cloth, as if Dicki's hands were contaminated. That silent act of cruelty lands like a punch to the stomach, and it tells you immediately that the obstacles in Dicki's life aren't just about money. At lunch, the most popular boy in school, a rich kid named Johnny, shows up with the hottest new toy, a robotic dog called CJ1. Every kid rushes over, oohing and eyeing, fighting for a closer look. Dicki watches from a distance, knowing there's no universe in which he can afford something like that. But instead of sulking, something interesting happens. A group of boys starts mocking a girl named Maggie, teasing her about how she looks, how she dresses, laughing at her. And Dicki, small and poor and powerless as he is, steps right up and tells them to stop. They ignore him, of course. They walk away like he doesn't exist. But Maggie sees him, and she remembers. A short while later in gym class, the teacher bars Dicki from participating because his shoes aren't appropriate for the activities. So once again, he's left on the sidelines, literally watching life happen without him. But then something quiet and unexpectedly beautiful occurs. Maggie walks over and sits next to him. She tells him she pretended to forget her own shoes just so she wouldn't have to leave him alone. In a movie full of big moments, that tiny act of kindness hits differently, because it means Dicki, for all his misery, isn't completely invisible. Someone sees him. Maggie then asks about his shoes, whether all of them are this worn. Dicki tells her yes. He explains without a drop of shame that his father found them in the trash. He loves his father. He's not embarrassed by him. But there is one quiet wish buried in his chest: brand new sneakers. so he can finally run and play like everyone else. Meanwhile, across the city at a dusty, dangerous construction site, Dicky's father is barely holding on. The work is brutal, and his body is starting to give out. His boss pulls him aside and tells him it's over. He's too slow, too tired, and they can't keep him on the payroll anymore. But the father drops to his knees and begs, not for himself. He tells his boss that he needs just a little more time, because his son can't sleep at night due to the heat, and he hasn't yet managed to buy him a fan. The boss stares at him, genuinely puzzled. Why would a man in your situation send his child to a private school? And the father answers without hesitation. He says he doesn't want Dickie to end up like him. He wants his son to have doors open to him that were never open for his father. That answer, so simple, so gutting, softens the boss just enough to give him one more chance. That night, the father rides home on his old bicycle, and hanging from the handlebars is a fan. Dickie's face lights up the moment he sees it, but when they plug it in, it doesn't work. Dickie starts to suspect the truth, that his father, unable to afford a real one, had found it in the garbage. The father quickly lies, insisting he paid good money for it, and it was working in the shop. But both of them know, and Dickie still has to fan himself to sleep by hand that night. Later during dinner, the father cuts open an old apple, carefully peels away the rotten sections, and hands the clean pieces to his son. It's such a small, ordinary act, but it carries the whole weight of the movie in it. This is a man giving his child every good thing he can, even when there's almost nothing left to give. That's the moment Dickie finally asks, quietly, carefully, for new sneakers. The father pauses, and then he smiles and says, "Very soon, I promise." The night doesn't end on sadness, though. Before bed, the two of them run around the house together, chasing and swatting cockroaches, turning their miserable living conditions into some kind of ridiculous, hilarious game. And in that laughter, you catch a glimpse of what their bond actually is. Not just father and son, but best friends. The next morning, they stop in front of an electronics shop and watch the news through the glass display window. A man on TV claims he photographed a real flying saucer, though the blurry image looks suspiciously like his own head. Everyone on screen is taking it seriously. Dickie and his father laugh at the absurdity, but then Dickie slips into the toy store next door, and there it is, a CJ1. Exactly like Johnny's. He spins around and makes his pitch to his father. "If you buy me this, I swear I'll never ask for anything ever again." His father has nothing. He gently tells him to put it back. But Dickie, for the first time, refuses. He begs. He bargains. He insists over and over until his father, pushed past his limit, does something he immediately regrets. He slaps him. The silence that follows is devastating. Dickie's eyes fill with tears. He puts the toy down and runs out of the store. His father chases him, guilt written all over his face. When he finally catches up, Dickie is standing beside his teacher, Miss Ewan, who asks once again if she can come visit their home. The father, mortified, makes another excuse about work. That night, the father does something heartbreaking in secret. He goes to the local junkyard and rummages through piles of discarded junk, searching for anything useful. He finds a pair of old but decent sneakers, a small victory. But then something completely impossible happens. A glowing object shoots out from deep within the trash pile and disappears into the night sky. In its wake, it leaves behind a single small object. A luminous green ball, pulsing faintly with alien light. The father pockets it without thinking too much and heads home. Back home, the father tells Dickie excitedly that he found something even better than a CJ1. Dickie races over, barely able to contain his excitement, and then stops cold. It's just a weird, slimy-looking green ball. His disappointment is almost comical. He takes it to school anyway, if only to have something to show. At school, Johnny immediately zeroes in on it. "What even is that thing, Dickie?" And Dickie, chin up, says, "It's called CJ7, and it's better than your CJ1 in every single way." Johnny laughs until he can barely breathe. He mocks Dickie, suggests the thing was pulled out of a dumpster, and when Dickie warns him to stop talking about his father like that, Johnny blows a whistle. Out of nowhere, a massive student named Dragon comes lumbering over and sends Dickie flying like a rag doll. The humiliation is total. That night, Dickie gets a scolding from his father for coming home in a torn uniform. But while they're arguing, something extraordinary interrupts them. The green ball switches on. Moist spikes emerge from its surface. A strange, dark void begins to form around it. Dickie panics, throws it across the room, and starts screaming about curses and ghosts. His father, exhausted and unimpressed, assumes Dicki is acting out and locks him in the closet as punishment. Alone in the dark, terrified, Dicki starts praying. And that's when it happens. The green ball starts glowing warm and steady, like a little lantern. The closet dissolves. Dicki enters what feels like another dimension, then a strange vision where he sees a round-headed alien creature repairing broken things with its antenna. But in the process of healing everything around it, the creature's own energy source shatters. It collapses, lifeless, and Dicki understands instinctively. If that energy source can ever be restored, the creature will live again. The vision ends. His father opens the closet door. Dicki quickly hides the ball, which is now transformed into something entirely new. A small, bizarre, strangely adorable alien creature. Wide eyes, round head, gentle energy. It looks like nothing from this world, because it isn't. The next morning, after his father leaves for work, Dicki studies this thing carefully. He pokes it, tests it, talks to it. And then he arrives at his conclusion with complete confidence. Space Dog. He names it CJ7. That night, the two of them play together for hours. CJ7 makes faces, Dicki dances, they laugh. And when CJ7 finds a rotten apple and, with a gentle pulse of alien energy, turns it fresh again, Dicki tastes it and stares in disbelief. This isn't a toy. This is a miracle. At school the next day, Dicki struts in with CJ7 perched on his shoulder like a tiny alien parrot, and the confidence radiating off him is extraordinary. He tests CJ7 against the toughest dog on school grounds, and CJ7 wins without breaking a sweat. Dicki is overjoyed. Then, and here's where things start going sideways, he gets a very bad idea. He pulls CJ7 into the school bathroom and asks it to help him cheat on his upcoming exam. CJ7 obliges, producing a pair of special glasses. During the test, tiny mechanical devices emerge from the lenses, silently scanning classmates' answer sheets and feeding the answers straight to Dicki. It's going perfectly, until Johnny spots something strange flying around the room and starts swatting at it. Another student joins in. The whole classroom erupts into chaos, but Dicki finishes his paper without a scratch. When the results come back, he has his first ever A. He beams with pride, completely ignoring the fact that he earned none of it. Riding high, Dicki then asks CJ7 for special sneakers so he can dominate gym class. CJ7 delivers. During class, Dicki clears every record in sight, jumping impossible heights, running faster than any machine can track, swimming like a torpedo, kicking footballs hard enough to destroy the goal. It's an absolute spectacle. But then Dicki wakes up with an apple in his mouth. It was all a dream. CJ7, however, is still real. He tests it immediately, challenges it to fight a real dog in the alley near his home. The real dog flattens CJ7 without a second thought. Dicki and CJ7 both run for their lives. Back to Earth then. At the next exam, Dicki brings CJ7 to the bathroom again, demanding more magical help. But this time CJ7 can only produce something ridiculous, a pile of poop. Dicki, in full denial, actually carries it into the exam hall and stares at it, waiting for answers that never come. Time expires. He's written nothing. And Johnny, because of course it's Johnny, sees the mess, picks it up, and smacks Dicki in the face with it. The humiliation is complete. After the test, Dicki absolutely loses it. He accuses CJ7 of tricking him, of being useless, of ruining everything. He grabs the creature and shoves its head into a toilet. He shouts at it, demands its powers. CJ7 just sits there, confused and scared. Then during gym class, the teacher has the gardeners spray Dicki down with a garden hose in front of the entire school. Everyone laughs. By this point, Dicki has hit his lowest point. He finds CJ7 hiding nearby and does something awful. He pretends to be sorry, calls CJ7 out gently. And the moment the trusting little creature comes close, Dicki grabs it and throws it into a garbage bin. Then he walks away. He makes it about 5 steps before his chest caves in. He runs back. The garbage truck has already come. CJ7 is gone. Dicki chases the truck through the streets, screaming and crying, begging it to stop. Nobody listens. He goes home empty-handed and broken, sobbing through the full story to his father. And then his father says, almost too casually, "Oh, some strange little creature came by earlier and was waiting for you." CJ7 leaps out from behind the furniture, bright-eyed and completely forgiving, as if none of it happened. There is no grudge, there is no anger, just pure, An unconditional love from a creature that has every reason to hate the person who hurt it. Life briefly settles. CJ7 uses its antenna to quietly repair the broken fan, and for the first night in months, Dicki sleeps in cool air. The fan, the one his father swore he'd paid for, is finally working. His father stares at it in the morning, genuinely bewildered, and at school, Dicki brings home a test paper showing 100 marks. His father is overwhelmed with pride. He shows it to everyone at the construction site, until his boss looks at the paper and frowns, because the original score, barely visible beneath the correction, shows a 0. Someone changed it. When the father comes home and asks Dicki directly, there are no lies this time. Dicki admits everything. The cheating, the shortcuts, all of it. His father doesn't yell. He just goes quiet in that way that's worse than yelling. He takes CJ7 away and sets the terms plainly. Earn back more than 60 points on your own, and you'll get it back. The next morning, Dicki goes to school and takes his test, without magic, without help, just himself and whatever he actually knows. And for the first time, it feels like enough. At the construction site, his father works high above the ground on scaffolding, exhausted but proud. And then, in a moment that blindsides you completely, something goes terribly wrong. A heavy piece of equipment snags on a rope tied to his leg. His coworkers can't hold it. He falls from a devastating height. He grabs onto a piece of fabric on the way down, and it tears. He doesn't survive the fall. When Miss Ewan comes to collect Dicki from school and brings him to the hospital, the news hits him like a wall collapsing. He comes home and just sits. He tells his teacher to leave. He says if he goes to sleep right now and wakes up tomorrow, his father will be there. He says it out loud, like saying it will make it true. But the silence in the room is deafening. That night, at the hospital, something no one planned for begins to unfold. CJ7, still in the bag the father had taken with him, crawls out. It stands over the lifeless body. And then it starts to work. It uses every ounce of energy it has. Its antenna glows. The wounds start to close, but the damage is too great, and CJ7 is getting weaker with every passing second. It doesn't stop. It keeps going, long into the night, burning through its own life force to give back another. When morning comes, Dicki stirs awake, and there, lying beside him, what is his father? Breathing, alive, confused, but there. Dicki wraps his arms around him and refuses to let go, but then he sees CJ7. The little creature can barely move. Its steps are unsteady, its glow is fading, and then a tiny sphere of light falls from its antenna and rolls away. CJ7 goes still, its eyes close. It becomes exactly what it always looked like to everyone else, a simple, lifeless toy. His father tries to fix it, replaces what he thinks is a battery, tries everything. Nothing works. CJ7 is gone. From that day forward, Dicki carries CJ7 everywhere, in his pocket, in his arms, on his shoulder, as if the weight of it keeps the memory alive. As if letting go of it would mean letting go of everything it gave him. During summer vacation, the whole school goes on a picnic. The day is warm and ordinary, until Dicki spots something in the sky. A shape, a light. Something unmistakably not from here. At that exact moment, CJ7's antenna flickers, and then, impossibly, beautifully, hundreds of creatures exactly like CJ7 come streaming down from the sky. They rush toward Dicki, they surround him, they bounce and glow and sing in their alien language. Maybe CJ7's family came back for it. Maybe there's still a way. Maybe that tiny glowing ball still has something left inside it. The film doesn't give you a clean, tidy answer. And that's exactly right, because the story was never really about an alien creature. It was about a boy who learned that love doesn't come from what you're given. It comes from who shows up for you when you have nothing to offer in return. Now let me ask you something, and I genuinely want to know your answer. Which moment in this movie hit you hardest? Was it the father begging to keep his job just to buy his son a fan? Was it CJ7 coming back after being thrown in the trash, showing nothing but forgiveness? Or was it that final, silent moment when the light goes out and a small toy falls still? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I read every single one. And listen, if you watched this entire breakdown and you're still not subscribed to this channel, I don't know what else I can do for you. We find movies like this, stories that quietly destroy you from the inside out, and we break them down so you feel every single beat. That's what we do here. So if you're not subscribed yet, you're actively choosing to miss out. And honestly, that feels personal. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and I'll see you in the next one.